Okay, Leah, so what we're going to do here is a basic man's layered haircut. So this is the first in the series of lessons aimed at teaching somebody how to become a barber from the beginning, with the most basic haircut, which is a men's uniformed layered haircut, which is what most guys will have. You know, so regardless of how long the hair is or how short the hair is, what most guys have is layers in some way, whether it's shaved at the bottom and connected to that shaved bit, or it's all some sort of system of layering. So you need to get used to using your scissors and comb, and not just try to be going straight for the clippers when you start off barbering. It's good to get used to cutting hair first of all and get really good with a scissors and comb, like a hairdresser will, and that's going to give you a good basis. So what we're going to start off here is with, we call him Dave. So this is Dave. And you'll see why he's called Dave later when I turn him round and show you his face. But what we've done so far, this is the second haircut Leah's given to Dave, and so we're just going to work this block shorter with layers, uniform layers, until we get the block short enough that we can start using clippers. So I reckon we've got about 4 or 5 haircuts left in this block, doing uniform layers before we need to move on to doing the next step, which will be scissor over comb. So I hope this lesson is good for you and you learn something by doing it. So what we're going to do, as you can see, the hair's already been layered. So we're just going to literally just take off the ends, just to get used to taking sections. So water spray. So most guys, when they come into the barbers, you know, they don't want their hair washed. It's good if they do, especially if they've got lots of gel in it or product in it. It's always best to try and encourage them to have their hair washed. But you know, generally they don't. But on longer hair, it's advisable to get them to have their hair washed. So I'm going to start off by wetting the hair down. So it doesn't need to be soaking, but definitely needs to be wet enough that, you know, there's not, you're not trying to do some of the hair dry and some of the hair wet. So, this isn't a very good water spray. Probably chosen the worst water spray. Give him a good donging. Right, so we're going to start off at the back. That's terrible water spray. Okay, so I'm using, on my comb, you've got the fine cutting tooth and the wider cutting tooth. I normally like to comb the hair through with the wider cutting tooth because obviously it doesn't pull the hair so much. It makes the hair, the comb glide through the hair a lot better. Quite a lot of hair here, which I should have prepared beforehand, but I mean, this is typical of somebody who comes into the barbers whose hair is tangly. They don't want it washed. So we're gonna start off with taking a section from the crown to the nape of the neck. So you're using this part of the comb. Most combs have got like a skip tooth missing, and an end that is designed for taking sections. So you're just using it a bit like a pencil and just drawing your line from the crown to the nape of the neck. So so you're splitting the hair into down the middle. So you take your first section, take about an inch section and go straight across. And work neatly. When you first start barbering or hairdressing, it's really, really important that you work neatly and take all your sections out of the way. Yeah, section 1, section 2. So all you're doing is that. Yeah, so it looks like that. Yeah, straight across. So I need to wet this hair again because it's not, the underneath it is not wet with my awful water spray. Okay, so first section. So we're going to use the wide tooth of the comb again, I think, to get our section. Yeah. And what we're going to do, we're just going to pull the hair straight out in front of us. So I'm standing slightly to the right of the section that I want to cut. I'm not standing dead in front of it because if I do, that's going to be awkward for me to cut. I'm not standing all the way around here because again, my body's going to twist. Just want to make myself comfortable. So it's important to have the customer at the right height for you, and so that you're not contorting your body. If your body feels comfortable, then generally you're in the right position. So what I tend to do is just stand slightly to the right of the section that I want to cut, yeah? So we're just taking off the very end, so I'm pulling the hair out towards me, lifting it up just slightly. Can you see some hairs falling out? Because I'm pulling the hair directly out towards me. I don't want to really touch the length. So if I pull the section out this and down, then I'm cutting off length as well, yeah? If I pull the section right up like this, really high, then all that hair's dropping, and I'm only cutting the very ends off and I'm leaving the hair to drop. So if you want to keep the hair longer at the bottom and leave the length, you direct the section up higher, yeah? So the higher you direct your piece of hair you want to cut, the less hair you take off and the longer you leave the length. If you pull the hair straight out towards you, yeah, you're generally just taking off a little bit of length. And if you angle the section down like this, then you're taking off a lot of hair, aren't you? So depending on how you angle your fingers is how much hair you want to take off. So for general purposes, this is just your general men's uniform layered haircut. I'm just pinning the hair just out, and I just want to take off a tiny bit of hair there. My next section. So I'm just grabbing a bit of the last section. Yeah, can you see? I'm just gently moving across, pinning the hair out towards me. I've got my fingers this way round for the bottom bit because I just find it more comfortable. Some people, or lots of people, do it like that with their hands that way around, but I find for the bottom bit, I feel more comfortable taking my fingers this way around. And all I'm doing is connecting, moving around with the hair. I'm just taking a little bit of hair off. Shortest point is there, shortest point is there. I'm just matching the 2 points in the middle. Yeah, so we're going to come around the other side, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now the other side, I've got my fingers this way round, because I feel more comfortable and my body's not so twisted. You see, I'm only taking off the very, very tips. It doesn't need a lot. And what I'm doing now is just combing the hair out towards me, and I can just a bit. Yeah, so, you know, we're just really at this stage, just practicing taking the very tips off and just getting our sections correct and just getting our body position